All right, everyone, welcome back. We are talking about Call of Cthulhu 7th edition combat. We went over the combat round on melee combat, armed combat, ranged combat. Now we're going to talk about the defenses against that stuff. We're going to talk about armor and weapons. How do they work? Do they do specialized damage like bleeding or incapacitation? We'll find out right after this.
Role-playing games thrive in fantastic worlds and at inclusive tables that embrace these core values for the most positive gaming experience. Donate to the Wounded Warrior Project via the link in the description below to help, honor, and empower our wounded heroes. On Thursdays and Saturdays, watch Heathen Dog's Dirty Casuals play multiplayer video games over on Twitch. On Sundays and Fridays, join us for tabletop role-playing game content on both YouTube and Rumble. Finally, please take a quick moment to like this video and share it with both your friends and on social media. If you have not done so, please subscribe to Legion of Myth and activate that bell icon to receive notifications of new content.
All right. Like I said, we are chapter 6 for combat, and we're going to page 108 to talk about armor. Armor reduces damage received, whether it is the natural armor of some monsters, body armor worn by a character, or the natural defense of an obstacle between the attacker and the target. Deduct the number of armor points from the damage inflicted by attacks passing through the armor. Note that armor will not reduce damage from magical attacks, poison, drowning, etc.
My armor protects me from drowning.
Yeah, unless it's fully environmental armor, not the George McFly level armor we're looking at right here, or Marty McFly level armor we're looking at right there. That's not going to work out. Oh, it has a flowchart. Combat flowchart. Establish order of attack. Rank in dex order. Highest goes first. Readied firearms go at a dex plus 50. That's something that we're going to touch on, I think, after this flowchart. But if you have a gun in your hand, pointed and ready, your dex is plus 50, as far as it means for initiative order. Because all you got to do is squeeze the trigger.
That's only for the first round, right?
Yeah. Okay. Squeeze trigger and you win, right? Surprise attack. Well, maybe you just get to go because you're behind the guy and he can't see you. Resolve in dex order. Initiate attack, flee, or maneuver. Defender chooses to dodge, fight back, or perform maneuver in return. Attacker and defender make opposed rolls. Okay. You either dodge, fight back, or maneuver. Or if maneuver, do this. Combat rolls cannot be pushed. Stop talking about that. Extreme level of success. Well, you could do a lot more damage with extreme level of success, especially with a weapon that's a stabby stab. That's going to get weird. Outnumbered? Well, if you're outnumbered and you've dodged or fought back already, everyone attacking you after that receives a bonus die, which means they roll 2 10-sideds, one ones, and they take the lower of the 2 10s and apply that. Okay, this is an example. Harvey is he still fighting old man? No, he's fighting Roger. Okay, well then he might win, but old man Birch is a beast. Absolute beast. Armor examples. Here we go. Here's the armor and what they do. Look at this. It's not a lot. You got to get, wearable armor. Heavy Kevlar vest is 8 points. That is a lot. It doesn't sound like a lot, but the guns don't do a lot of damage, especially a knife. A knife does 1d4, right? So
okay.
That's that. If that's your baseline, that's kind of a lot. Military body armor is 12 points. A large sandbag is 20 points. That's why they use sandbags in current
sandbags are very effective.
They are very effective at stopping bullets really, really quickly. Water is the same way. Unless you have a special armor-piercing bullet, after about 6 inches, a bullet basically disintegrates in water and is stopped by a sandbag. That's
something movies get wrong a lot.
All the time.
Not that I care, but it's just one of those things where it's like, right, real bullets don't make it far in water.
Yeah, if someone jumps into a lake and goes down more than about a foot, 2 feet tops, gunfire is completely ineffective against them. You can fire at them all you want. You're not going to hit them. So let's see here. Firearms. It is true. No, let's do that. To resolve a firearms attack, make a D100 roll and compare the result with the attacker's firearm skill using the appropriate specialization. If you're using a handgun, it's handgun. Using a rifle, it's a rifle. Machine gun, like that. The firearms roll is not opposed. The difficulty level is determined by the range with various other factors granting either penalty or bonus die. Failure never deals damage. Okay, this is kind of weird because we know there's a dodge skill, right? So where's the dodge skill? If it's not opposed, how do we dodge? Well, let's find out. Let's keep reading. It takes less time to pull a trigger than to swing a club or a sword. Therefore, readied firearms may shoot at dex plus 50 in the dex order. No, note it doesn't say first round only. I was wrong. It's every round. But everyone who has a gun in their hand has that plus 50. If you bring a knife to a gunfight, well, hey man, he rolls the dice, he takes chances, right? I guess that's a thing for a reason. Range and firearms difficulty level. The difficulty level of a firearm skill roll is always set according to range. Each doubling of range above the weapon's listed base range on the weapons chart increases the difficulty by 1 step. For example, within the base range, if the range of a handgun is, say, 50 feet, anything between 0 and 50 feet is a regular difficulty level attack. From 51 to 100, you're looking at a hard difficulty, which is half of your percentage. Very long range, anywhere from 101 to 200. Extreme difficulty, you're at 1/5 of your skill to attack. Any further modifications use bonus or penalty dice. At very long range, only when an extreme success will hit the target. An impale only occurs with a critical hit. You're so far away that there's very, very little chance to hit even the main body, let alone head, neck, groin, whatever. All right, let's see what else we got. Firearm attack modifiers. Once the difficulty level of the firearms attack has been set, all other factors that lend a distinct advantage or disadvantage are taken into account. Some options follow, but others may occur to you during play. Modifiers grant either a bonus or a penalty die. Diving for cover. Target that is aware of being fired upon may react by diving for cover. This may mean jumping behind a physical barrier, throwing oneself on the floor, or ducking and diving at speed in an attempt to present a more difficult target. Diving for cover requires a dodge roll. Okay, we got our dodge back. Okay, how does that work? If this is successful, the target presents a more difficult target and the attacker gets 1 penalty die. Diving for cover is a desperate response to a desperate situation. A character that opts to dive for cover forfeits their next attack, regardless of whether they were successful or not. If they have already used their attack this round, they use their following round's attack. The only option available to a character that has dived for cover until their next attack is to dodge further attacks. If an individual with multiple attacks dives for cover, they forfeit all of their attacks, not just a single one. So if a ghoul suddenly grew a brain, has 3 attacks,
Suddenly grew a brain.
Cover, he loses, or it loses, all the rest of the attacks, all of them. All you can do is dodge at this point. That's it. Cover and concealment, penalty die. The degree of protection offered by cover is at the keeper's discretion. A wooden fence may not stop a bullet, but it does obscure the target, making the shot more difficult. Concealment of at least half of the target adds 1 penalty die to a firearms attack. Okay. Good to know. And we have a target that breaks cover even briefly to fire shots, for example, may be targeted by another character if that character is holding his or her turn. Okay, so
you're waiting for him to pop his head up.
Waiting for him to pop up, right? You're waiting for them to pop up. Blam, blam. Point blank range, a bonus die. If the target is at point blank range within 1/5 of the shooter's dex in feet, the attacker gains a bonus die. An attacker that's using a firearm at point blank range may be targeted by melee attacks and could be disarmed with a successful fighting maneuver on their opponent's turn. A target may not fight back against a dodge or against or dodge a firearm attack as they can a fighting attack. A target may not fight back against or dodge a firearm attack as because you can't fight back against a bullet, and the only dodge action is die for cover. Aiming, bonus die. The intention to take careful aim must be declared on the character's turn in the order of combat on your deck's initiative. The shot is taken on the same turn in the order of combat on the following round. So you are giving up your action this round, you're aiming. And when the initiative order hits you again, that's when you fire, but with a bonus die. Remember, you can have up to 2 bonus dice or 2 penalty dice. So if you're aiming but the person's undercover, the bonus and penalty dice would cancel each other out. It's a normal roll. If the aiming character takes damage or moves while aiming, the advantage of aiming is lost. You may only gain 1 bonus die by aiming, so aiming for 5 rounds does nothing except give you 1 bonus die. Fast moving targets, penalty die. A target that is moving at full speed, movement of 8 or more, is hard to hit. Apply a penalty die. Target size. Smaller targets are harder to hit. If the target is build -2 or smaller, apply a penalty die. If the target is build 4 or larger, apply a bonus die. That's just general Andre the Giant versus, say, a jockey is going to get crazy. The jockey is going to be hard to hit, especially at range. But Andre the Giant's going to be a little easier because he's like 5 people. Reloading, possible penalty die. It takes 1 round to load 2 shells into any handgun, rifle, or shotgun. Allow 1 round to exchange a clip. Allow 2 rounds to change a machine gun belt. In a round, it is possible to put 1 round in a chamber and get that shot off with 1 penalty die. Okay, so changing a clip takes your action. Takes a whole round to do. Putting in 2 rounds into either a revolver, a rifle, or a shotgun, whole round. You can put in 1 bullet and fire, but you'll be firing with a penalty die. Handguns, multiple shots. This is possible. Many handguns are capable of firing 2 or 3 shots per round. Firing 1 shot allows for more careful aim and steadying of the weapon. Firing more than 1 places speed above accuracy. When firing 2 or 3 shots in the round, roll for each shot individually, all shots receiving 1 penalty die. Okay. Firing into melee combat. Combatants in melee combat are constantly on the move and may obscure one another. 1 penalty die is applied when targeting a combatant involved in melee combat. A fumble indicates an ally's been hit. If multiple allies are in the line of fire, the one with the lowest luck score is always hit. Now, this has a problem. What if you don't really care about either of those people? Why would you take a penalty die? You're not trying to be that careful. You don't like either of them. If you don't care that the other person might get hit, then why are you getting a penalty die? Well, maybe because it's a scrum and they just happen to move into the way. Okay. All right, I can get behind that now. All right, I talked myself into that. All right, automatic fire. If using automatic fire, an attacker can make 1 pull of a trigger in 1 combat round. The automatic weapon will then continue firing until the trigger is released or the ammunition is expended. This is called full auto. Some weapons are limited to fire burst, 2 or 3 bullets, rather than full auto, while others may be switched to fire from semi-automatic and or burst or full auto. For full auto, the player declares the number of rounds, bullets, to be fired, which may be any number up to the capacity of the gun before rolling the dice. Due to the recoil of automatic weapons, it is very hard to place a high number of rounds in a single target. To simulate this, the number of bullets fired is divided into a series of volleys. And do I have to go? I do. Okay. Series of volleys. A roll made for each volley. A volley is a number of bullets and up to or equal to the fire's submachine gun or machine gun skill divided by 10 and round. This is getting okay. Already it's a little too complicated for me. I want to keep this simple, but this is what happens. Let's say you have a machine gun skill of 40. Okay? And you are unleashing the entire clip. 27, 31, whatever it may be, right? Every bullet is coming out of your gun this round. You divide your skill by 10 and round down. You have a skill of 40, divided by 10 is 4, round to nothing. So you have, say, 30 bullets, and you roll for each group of 4. And each one apparently is going to be harder and harder because recoil is causing you to drift. Regardless of his skill, a full auto volley is never fewer than 3 bullets. For example, a character with firearm skill 47 fire 4 bullets in a volley. A character can fire full auto, multiple volleys, in a single round until their ammunition runs out. For burst fire, one pull of the trigger fires 2 or 3 bullets, this being considered the best combination of accuracy and conservation of ammo. This is simply treated as a volley of 2 or 3 shots, depending on the firearm. The user's skill plays no role in determining the number of bullets, just 2 or 3 shots. When firing semi-automatic, multiple single shots, apply a penalty die to each shot, making a skill roll for each bullet fired, just as when firing multiple rounds from a handgun. Rolling to hit with automatic fire. Your first attack, in our example, the first 4 bullets. Apply the usual rules for a firearms attack. Set difficulty by range and apply any modifiers that there may be. This is your most accurate.
I really think that a lot of game designers need to actually own firearms and go to ranges and use not just the stationary targets, but the targets that you're allowed to draw and fire, because these rules, like many other games, are almost backward. But it's a game. Yeah.
Second and further attack rolls. Add 1 penalty die or remove a bonus die for each additional attack roll. If this would incur 3 penalty dice, stick with 2 and raise the difficulty level by 1 step. Okay, you had 1 penalty die for each additional attack roll. So, in my example, with a skill, machine gun skill of 40, and 4 divided by, we'll just say 7. 7 groups of 4. Those are the bullets. Those are bullets coming out. So the first group of 4 is your normal attack roll. The next group of 4 is 1 penalty die. The third group of 4 is 2 penalty die. The fourth group of 4 is 2 penalty die, and now it's a hard roll. Hard success required. Fifth group is 2 penalty die, and an extreme success is required. We can't get worse than that, so 6 and 7 are going to be just that. 2 penalty die and extreme success required to hit your target. That seems very severe. But I would actually challenge anyone to, hit accurately with a machine gun at the tail end of a full auto burst. I challenge you for that last bullet to hit anywhere on the target. Probably not. So I get it. If the attack roll is successful, half the shots fired hit the target. Roll the damage for half the shots. If the attack roll is an extreme success, all shots fired hit the target. The first half for which impale. Subtract any. Okay. So each of these volleys that we're talking about in my example, volley of 4 bullets, a normal success is 2 bullets hit, 2 bullets miss. An extreme success is all 4 bullets hit and the first 2 impale, which means they do max damage. Again, I'm seeing overcomplication here. As for all firearm attack, is the difficulty level of the shot was extreme, the best possible result is successful hit and not an impale. Okay, if the difficulty level is pushed up to extreme, just like in my example with volley 5, 6, and 7, even if you get that extreme, which is a base level success here, you do not impale because at this point, extreme is your base level of success. So I get that. All right, lots of examples here. Oh my goodness. Malfunctions. Firearms are prone to jamming and misfiring. With any attack roll result equal to or higher than the weapon's firing malfunction number, we're going to go to page 401 right after this. The shooter does not merely miss. His or her weapon does not fire. If the weapon is a revolver, break-open gun, or bolt-action rifle, the problem is merely a dud. If the weapon is a lever action, the malfunction is a jam. Fixing a jam takes 1d6 combat rounds plus a successful mechanical repair roll or firearm skill roll. The user can keep trying once per round until succeeding. If the roll is also a fumble, the keeper may choose whether the gun malfunctions or some other outcome occurs, like you hit an ally or it explodes in your hand. So we're going to look at that right now. Page 401. All right. So we're going to go to gun. Let's just go down to gun. Handguns. 9mm revolver right here. All right. Firearms, handgun. This is the skill. This is a specialty. Damage 1d10. So remember, a Kevlar vest absorbs 8 damage. So it is still possible to hit someone, to damage someone who's wearing a Kevlar vest if you have a 9mm. You're like, oh, a 9mm won't go through a Kevlar vest. You're right. But if you hit it just right, also it ricochets or changes trajectory, hits you in the arm, whatever. It can be explained away easily enough by something like that. The base range is 15 yards. So 0 to 15 yards is your normal attack. 16 to 30 yards is hard. And 31 to 60 is going to be extreme. And bullets per round, 1 or up to 3, because it is possible to fire 3 times, but you're going to get the penalty dice. Rounds in your magazine is 6. I don't know.
Well, it says revolver. Aren't most 9mm revolvers 8? But I don't know. I don't use revolvers. So.
Whatever. And then the cost. And the malfunction is 100 for the revolver. That means you have to roll a 100 for this thing to malfunction.
I was waiting to see how bad those malfunctions would be, because I'm like, for example, I won't put it on stream because apparently that makes people angry. But like my 45 here, when I was using some dumb rounds in it jammed a little more than I liked. But my 9mm have never ever jammed on me. I've put literally hundreds of rounds down.
A Glock 17,
thousands,
on the other hand, is a malfunction rate of 98. So 98, 99, or 100 will be a malfunction.
Let's find the AR style rifle. If that's anything above a 75. I shouldn't say that. They're actually pretty good now, but
there's the rifles. Bolt action, Garand, semi-automatic rifle, and an elephant gun. Elephant gun. That's something.
Is that what they teach now, nerds? Tap rack bang, or we learned slap tap rack?
Don't know.
But it's back in the 90s. My M16 was happy to get the A2.
Shotguns. Where's machine gun? That's what I want to know.
It's probably under assault
rifle. There we go.
Yeah, I see what I
there
said.
It is. M16A2. That should be 97 at least. Yeah, 97. There it is. 97. You know what? No. The ones that we were trained on were the bullshit not taken care of.
Well, they weren't A2s, but
when we got in, we were still using A1s. But M4, that should be better. Should be 99. Still 97. Bullshit. The M4 was an awesome gun. It doesn't jam. Shut the fuck up. And the Beretta 9mm. No, I'm sorry, not the Beretta rifle is a 99.
You must have got the lucky M16 because mine wouldn't stop jamming. I got very good at clearing it though.
Clearing a jam, yeah. And now we get into the submachine guns, and the jammies get to 96, 97 as a max, 98. And then we have what is this? Straight up machine guns. 1920s, modern. Minigun, 98. Wow. 2d6 plus 4 damage, 4,000 rounds. And it can go to full auto. The thing is, though, you're not hitting anything after like 4, maybe 5 volleys of that 4,000. That's crazy.
Again, and I don't want to be pedantic about this. I really don't. But yeah, it's definitely we'll call it tabletop RPG firing, because it's not real world firing.
I get it. All right, let's take a look at the starred comments.
Oh,
again, we only have one.
Well, one starred comment was deleted by the starred comment was deleted by the user, so I don't know if I want to put it out there. Well, I'm a nerd. I know you deleted it, but I'm gonna put it out there because I still think it's a really good comment to put up. It's rounds 2 to 5 that are hardest to hit. Then you start compensating. Yeah, that's kind of the point that I was making as well. It's like, it's like it lifts and then you lean into
it back down. Right. Your arms are now getting used to the upward force caused by the expelled gases, and as long as you're holding down the trigger, it's basically constant. It's the same rate. So you can gauge and you can start aiming again once your body's used to the recoil.
My issue was with the trick, because when I'm like got my 45 out and I mag dump the thing, boom, 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 boom. If that first round's on target, usually the rest are on target. If that first round's off and I don't compensate after that, then they are either all off or I have to bring it back in. But the concept of anybody who's trained to fire, that the first shot and then the second shot and then the third shot, it's like maybe for somebody like my wife who doesn't fire, but I wouldn't. A nerd who's a Marine, no, I would. I'm guessing that when one round hits, they all hit. Yeah. But again, that gets pedantic for a game, and I understand. I'm not complaining about the game. You're going to see it in all games. I don't think any game really does
it correctly.
Does it correctly, and also they're trying to balance the concept of hey, otherwise everybody's just gonna go boom, 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 like
everyone's gonna have machine guns because that's the only way to go, right? Everyone's gonna need them. Everyone's gonna want them. And then you as a keeper have to be a dick and have cops on every corner checking gun licenses.
There you go. So
anyway, so we're done with weapons and armor. And next, we're going to go into wounds and healing, because after all of these, you've been riddled full of bullet holes, stab wounds, impaled by swords, beaten by bar stools,
wrestled slimy tentacles,
or touched in a naughty place by slimy tentacles. How do you recover from that? Well, the latter is lots of therapy, but the former is probably going to be a hospital, but we'll find out.